Peace, peace. Peace and love. You're now rocking to the sounds and vibrations of your boy, Don Kalam, also known as Malik Kalam. As always, prosperity is your divine birthright. You can call the number, get a hold of my virtual assistant, get everything you need. That's 702-200-4900. But you can still text private life to the number, 702-200-4900. Peace and love. How's everybody feeling? Rich risings, everybody. It's early a.m. on the East Coast. We on the West Coast with it. I want to go over some valuable information. My status is important. Here's the reason being. I'm not a licensed attorney or tax expert. I do this for educational, informational purposes only. The reason why status is important, okay? When you go to court, some people don't get hurt, all right? You don't get hurt. Like, your attorney has to be your mouthpiece. So this is one reason why you have to understand or understand status, okay? Hope this makes sense for everybody. Peace and love. So, what I'm showing, I'm gonna post this in the school too. This isn't my document, but it's called Incredible Legal Remedy to get any court case dismissed. But it just breaks down the story. So listen, the act debated is the Cestui Que Act, and this was to subrogate the rights of men and women, meaning all men and women were declared dead, lost at sea, beyond the sea. Back then, operating in admiralty law, the law of the sea, so lost at sea. The state of London took custody of everybody and their property into a trust. The state became the trustee or the husband, holding all title to the people and property until a living man comes back to reclaim those titles. And they can also claim damages. So this is the rule of the use of capital letters used in a name. When capital letters are used anywhere in a name, this always refers to a legal entity or fiction, company, corporation. There's no exceptions. Look at your driver's license, birth certificate, marriage certificates, passports, things of these natures. These are all capitalized names. This is a contract creating a sole proprietor entity, okay? And you can't tell me they're not entities. When you go open up a bank account, don't they give you an account number? So when you go get a Social Security card, they give you an account number. When you go get a driver's license, they give you an account number. When you go get a birth certificate, there is a number on there. You are issued a number. These are account numbers. Under bankruptcy law, contract law to be exact. Under bankruptcy, they can only contract with the people through Cestui Que terms. This is what's going on. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Understand that. So legally, we're all considered to be a fiction, a concept or idea expressed as a name, a symbol. That legal person has no consciousness. It is a juristic person, ens legis, a name, a word written on a piece of paper, okay? A legal title. You're considered to be fiction, okay? So this traces back to 1666. London is a state, just like the Vatican is a state. Understand this because it's church versus state, so the Vatican is a state. And truthfully, these birth certificates trace back all the way to the Roman Church, Roman Catholic Church. You're considered a Roman slave when you're using these documents, okay, that are issued. You can only control what you create. That's what everybody, if you're in my school, this is what I definitely need you to understand. That's rule number one. You can only control what you create. So the Crown is considered an unincorporated association. It's important to understand unincorporated associations as well. These are private trusts. And why unincorporated? It's private. The Temple Bar is in London. Every lawyer called to the bar swears allegiance to the Temple Bar. You can't get called without swearing this allegiance. The Crown already owns North America and everything in it. The only way out of this is to reclaim your entity that the Crown created and learn how to move from a trustee position. And that's why I say make your name a business. That's one of the first starts. Unincorporated association is the next start. All right. When you start to understand and start having some clarity of what's going on, but you have to study the law, so you have some ground to stand on, not just what somebody's teaching. You have to study this law, know it to be facts, know it to be true. When you discover it for yourself, then nobody can move you off of your square. Okay, you stand on your square. So this is why you always need representation when involved in legal matters, because you're considered dead. The legal fiction is a construct on paper and in state and trust. When you get a bill or summons from court, it is always in capital letters, similar to tombstones in graveyards. Capital letters signify death. They are writing to the dead legal fiction. A legal fiction was created when someone informed the government that there was a new vessel in town based upon your birth. Birth certificates are issued at birth, just as ships are given birth certificates. Your mother has a birth canal, just like a ship. All this information relates to how the general public are still legally tied. Through admiralty law, through this ancient legal construct, we can be easily controlled. Learning about your legal fiction helps you to unlock yourself. Otherwise, you are just a vessel floating on the sea of commerce. It is possible to be free from all of this, okay? So we are in custody worldwide under the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. The majority of people are fed, sheltered, and provided for. However, it is the system that is benefiting while many are suffering, poorly fed, housed, water is contaminated. Many people are now, this isn't my information, okay? I'm just reading from this. Let me skip through that, okay? Let me skip through that. I just want y'all to know what's going on. Because going through this document, it breaks down the three different crowns. Like, all right, so the history of the trust. Everything's under trust. So what's important about these trusts in the Vatican is your birth certificate gets sent to your original birth certificate. You only get a certified copy with your placenta, okay? Your placenta and your original birth certificate that they signed, they go into like this pool and they cast a spell on it. And you got to understand unrebuted affidavit stands as truth. So nobody is rebuting these spells. But they put a spell and say, you will not own anything and neither will your kids. It all goes to them. And they cast a spell with your placenta, the baby's placenta when you're born. This is what your placenta goes if you don't demand it, say you want to keep it. A lot of people don't know this. And I don't want to get too deep. I don't want people to get upset, but the Salvation Army picks up the placentas from the hospitals and they make sure that they get to the Vatican. Okay, there's some deep, deep private game right here. So the first trust of the world, okay? The first trust of the world is the Unum Sanctum, UNAM space SANCTAM. Unum Sanctum, okay? And it's one of the most frightening documents in history and the one most quoted as the primary document of the popes claiming their global power. It is an express trust deed. The last line reads, furthermore, we declare, we proclaim, we define that it's absolutely necessary for salvation that every human creature be subject to the Roman pontiff. It is not only the first trust deed in history, but also the largest trust ever conceived, as it claims the whole planet and everything on it conveyed in the trust. So they're claiming the whole planet and everything on it. But you can't own anything. Everything is just atoms and vibrations. Everything is not even really solid. If you want to get deep, it's God. Quit playing. The next one is the Triple Crown of Baal. Baal is a demon. This shit gets deep. AKA the papal tiara. In 1302, Pope Boniface issued an infamous papal bull Unum Sanctum, the first express trust. He claimed control over the whole planet, which made him king of the world. In celebration, he commissioned a gold-plated headdress in the shape of a pine cone with an elaborate crown at its base. The pine cone is an ancient symbol of fertility and one traditionally associated with Bel, as well as the cult of Cybele. It also represents the pineal gland in the center of our brains, crystalline in nature, which allows us access to source, hence the 13-foot tall pine cone in Vatican Square. Think about why the pontiffs would idolize a pine cone. Gets deep. The first crown of Crown Land. Pope Boniface VIII was the first leader in history to create the concept of a trust, but the first testamentary trust through a deed and will created a deceased estate was created by Pope Nicholas V in 1455. Through the Papal Bull Romus Pontifex, this is only one of 3 papal bulls to include the line with the incipit for a perpetual remembrance. This bull had the effect of conveying the right of use of the land as real property from the express trust Unum Sanctum to control the pontiff and his successors in perpetuity. Hence, all land is claimed as crown land. This first crown is represented by the first Cestui Que trust created when a child is born. It deprives us of all beneficial entitlements and rights on the land. It's getting deep. Can't make this up. The second crown of the Commonwealth. The second crown of the Commonwealth. The second crown was created in 1481 with the papal bull Attorney Regis. And this is where you get the word attorney from. It's spelled Aeterni. Remember, this is Latin. So papal bull Attorney Regis, meaning eternal crown, by Sixtus IV, being only the second of 3 papal bulls as deeds of testamentary trust. This papal bull created the crown of Aragon, later known as the crown of Spain, and is the highest sovereign, highest steward of all Roman slave subjects to the rule of Roman pontiff. Spain lost the crown in 1604 when it was granted to King James I of England by Pope Paul V. After the successful passage of the Union of Crowns or Commonwealth in 1605, after the false flag operation of gunpowder plot, the crown was finally lost by England in 1975, was returned to Spain and King Carlos I, where it remains to this day. This second crown is represented by the second Cestui Que trust, created when a child is born, and by the sale of the birth certificate as a bond to the private central bank of the nation, depriving us of ownership of our flesh and condemning us to perpetual servitude as a Roman person or slave. It gets deep, I'm trying to tell y'all. It said 1975. There's still royal families today that run this shit. And that's what people don't understand. I teach people how to reclaim the royal roots. If you're alive, you're royalty, period. You're tied to one of these royal families. But you fell from the tree. Then we got the third crown of the ecclesiastical see. I'm not going to get deep on that. But after the third crown of the ecclesiastical see is the Cestui Que trust of 1666. And this is what's going on today with the Social Security numbers. And this is why you have to understand trust law. Understand how to maneuver privately. And use your public entity in a private, like you have to reclaim yourself, truthfully. And I teach people how to make their name their business. We got the family holding companies, family ministries, okay? Family membership associations, private membership associations. Your family is the club. You have to remember this. Individuals do not hand down wealth. Families hand down wealth. I hope this makes sense. Individuals cannot hand down wealth. Only families can hand down wealth. So you're looking to preserve the last name. You're looking to preserve your lineage. You're looking to preserve that. And that's how we maneuver. And we maneuver with the family foundations, whether it's a private church, an unincorporated association. You just move like the government does, because the government was created upon private families. They say founding fathers, but it was created with private families. So tap into the school. You can call me directly at 702-200-4900. Again, call me at 702-200-4900 or text Private Life to 702-200-4900. Just trying to drop some game to y'all. Y'all have to learn how to update your status correctly and maneuver in the correct way. So when I'm even dealing with the government or dealing with these entities, courtrooms, or whatever it may be, I don't even send it from me. So even though my name's a business, the authorized rep is sending it, or the family trust is sending it, or even the family holding company is sending it on behalf of the name. You have to understand that you're always representing. Because, look, you got to think about it. Like, I'm just going to show this. I know everybody doesn't have access to my screen, but what I want you to do is do a simple Google search, right? I'm going to tell you why this works, right? And I'm an ordained minister, so that's a status too. So think about that, being an ordained minister. That's a status too. So just look up attorney offices near me, right? And you're going to find that these are businesses. Attorney offices are LLCs and LLPs. I'm going to find one for y'all. So I don't think I'm just making this stuff up. Look, and associates, that's a business. A firm is a business, law firm. Y'all have to think like that. But look, boom, here we go. LLPs, right? So let's look up what LLP means. A lot of people are just letting that even bypass them. Limited liability partnership. I just want y'all to see it. LLP means a limited liability partnership. You can create this online. And then they have LLC offices. They're in the public sector. Look, boom, PLLC right here. I'll find me another one. Let's look up what PLLC means. Professional Limited Liability Company. So I just want y'all to know that attorneys' offices still need permission from the state to exist. And it's still a private club. So I want you to do the same thing. You make your private limited liability company represent your name. That's how we maneuver. That's how we maneuver in the private life. Like, truthfully, I can't make this up. I really send, like, when I relate with the court, it's coming from one of my private business names. It's not coming from the name directly. We always represent, we always manage the affairs of the state. We appear by special appearance. These are key words, okay? Special appearance. All right? We label everything as affidavits, okay? We never file motions because when you file a motion, you're asking them to move. And now we're doing everything online. That's an emotion. Now they control your emotions. You're asking them about your emotions. You follow me? I'm not going to get deep on that. But you can't ask the courts nothing. You demand the court is always yours. If there's not an injured party, it's not real anyways. The state can't represent the defendant and be a witness. You know what I mean? The government is either the government or it can't be a witness in the case against you. It can't take state claim. And it can only do this because it's all civil matters. It's all money. That's why they say 2 years or such and such fine. It's all monetary. It's all a tax issue. Anyways, 28 U.S.C. 2002 subsection 2. Look that up. Court means any court created by Congress, excluding the United States Tax Court. So if they don't have permission from Congress, it's a tax issue. This is why I tell everybody make their name a business and we handle it this way. I show everybody. Listen, everybody can do this. The Capitalizing Namepreneur by Don Kalam. Again, The Capitalizing Namepreneur. Make sure y'all get that book. The Capitalizing Namepreneur. Teach you about tax credits. But the main thing that I'm gonna tell you that it teaches, Capitalizing Namepreneur, Unleashing the Power of Tax Credits. Go get it by Don Kalam today. But the thing about, I lost my train of thought. Man. I should have kept going. Should have just kept going. But, yeah, I got it. So look, we're talking about status. So enrolled agent is the highest status that the IRS awards, okay? Enrolled agent status is the highest credential that the IRS awards. And all you have to do is go get a PTIN number and do a little training, 72 hours of education through the IRS. Now listen, enrolled agents, like attorneys and certified public accountants, have unlimited rights. So you don't have to go to law school, you don't have to become a public attorney, you just got to take a few classes with the IRS. And just get your PTIN is like $30. That's a personal tax identification number. These are things you have to start learning. An enrolled agent can represent someone in the IRS court. Can enrolled agents, listen, look at this, and anybody can become one. Enrolled agents can represent you before the IRS. Yes, they can speak on your behalf. Notice, this is a status. Back to the status. Enrolled agent status is the highest credential the IRS awards. Because isn't this the reason why we're doing this for status? Isn't this the reason why we're doing this is showing tax avoidance and being private with the IRS? So this is what you want to do. Learn how to become an enrolled agent as well. And it's right there. Just do a simple Google search. It tells you how to become an enrolled agent today. Get your PTIN. That's the first thing that you do. Prepare tax identification number. So now you can prepare taxes. All right? It's that simple, man. 1, 2, 3. And then go get the capitalizing namepreneur, because that's the book that teaches you about tax credit. When you start learning that your name is the business, you operate different. You don't have bills no more. You have deductibles. You feel me? You don't have bills no more. You have deductibles. I had to make sure that's in my eyes. You feel me? I hope this makes sense for everybody. I'm up late night just dropping y'all some game. Get them tax credits, deductibles instead of bills. I mean, you guys. So look, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna teach y'all a few other things. Cause I'm telling you, all of this has helped me in life. Everything that I teach, the free game. Right now, this is free game, free 99. You caught me online. So, I created unincorporated associations, right? And then I was in a real life court issue. I accidentally closed that out. I was in a real life court issue, right? I'm gonna look for that paperwork too. And it was my children's mom. We're on good terms now. But the attorneys was trying to force my hand to produce billing statements and how much I was making. And we weren't going. So let's go over that. We're gonna go over that really fast and understand really why it worked. So, if you're in the school, you get to see the real life examples. And I already told my attorney, this was a private attorney, I already told him. I'm like, I'm not providing that information. And I told them, so they tried again. And they're trying to get something that says federal and state income tax returns, including all schedules, W-2s, K-1s, and 1099 forms for each of the last 3 years. Paycheck stubs or evidence of wages, salaries, or tips for the last 3 months. And any statements or documents for the last 12 months related to child care costs and health insurance. Boom, boom. And they trying to show me the law and everything. Mandatory exchange of document rule 68.5 in the family courts of St. Louis County, Missouri. Like literally throwing me like, hey, this is what we got to show them. Got the whole document order from the court. Form 15, mediation in family court. Literally, this is what they threw at me. You understand? Come on, man. I came back at with them with an affidavit of truth, right? This is the importance of affidavits. Importance of affidavits. I let them know I'm an active member of the unincorporated association. I let them know where the jurisdiction is too. Now, the nature of compensation, I receive a symbolic annual compensation of $1 for my contributions and service rendered to the association as a member of its board. This nominal fee underscores my voluntary commitment to the association's objectives and activities rather than financial remuneration. I don't even know what that word means. Now here's the key words, and this is what we're going to go over before I close this call out, before I close this Zoom out, this video, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? For catching the replay, drop a comment. I appreciate y'all for even rocking with me this long. I'm dropping game though if you're taking notes, man. You see, I don't answer questions. I don't look at them today because I want this video to be professional. I ain't want to cuss y'all out. I know y'all always asking questions. I'm not Google, not your mama, I'm not your dad. You can ask all of them for free. It's your family's job to teach you the game, not mine. Straight up. Yeah, there's some females out there, y'all want to call me daddy, we can talk. You feel me? You know what I'm talking about. But let's go. Stipends, fringe benefits, and private shares. In addition to the aforementioned compensation, I'm entitled to and receive various stipends, fringe benefits, and private shares associated with the involvement of this unincorporated association. These benefits are exclusive to the internal operations of the association and not distributed or made available in the public or private sectors outside of the association. Inclusion of the offspring. The benefits extended to me as part of this association inclusively cover the offspring. This coverage includes but is not limited to housing, automobiles, dining, clothing, and other essential necessities of life. Additionally, this benefit package encompasses medical and health care insurance for them, ensuring their well-being and support through the resources of the association. Literally. Hit them with that boom bop bing bow. They took that, received, thank you. No questions asked. We kept going. We kept going. You feel me? That's what I'm showing y'all. Now, I want y'all to look this up. I like to go to Investopedia. Because this is that private trustee training talk right here. Give my computer a second. It's freezing up. There it goes. So what is a fringe benefit? So this is how the companies, so when you make your name a business, you're going to have a lot in store, okay? And I'm not going to get deep on this today. Tap in with me if you want to consult, learn the game. I do have business insurance. I got life insurance, 2 policies. I'm talking about millions and millions of dollars. You know, millions. I can show anybody how to do this. And then, you know, it's just a matter of it's not long. I'm not even going to give you all the time frame, but it's not long. One of the life insurance policies I was able to borrow $100,000 against. Matter of days. Got $100,000. But look, so fringe benefits, you want to offer this to yourself. You're working for yourself now, so why wouldn't you offer yourself the best? Nobody is going to invest in you if you don't invest in yourself. But fringe benefits are additions to compensation that employers offer workers to recruit, motivate, retain high-quality talent. Examples include a company car. Now the car is a company car. You're not just using it for personal. It's a business car now. The family has to get around. Understand how to maneuver and get these tax write-offs and tax credits done correctly, okay? You do get tax credits for having cars, and even if it's an electric vehicle. You get tax credits for education. Paid time off. Yes, you get paid time off and sick leave. Gym membership. Like, these are types of insurance. Yes, company cars. Yes. It's like y'all acting like it's blowing your mind. No. This isn't Don Colum's information. This is real information. Fringe benefits help employers recruit, motivate, and retain high quality employees, okay? Extra compensation company gives their employees. That's the simple term of fringe benefits. So a fringe benefit can be health insurance, life insurance, employee stock options. We talk about those private shares, right? Say you're in the unincorporated associations and they're private, so all the fringe benefits are considered private. You keep them outside the public scope, the public sector. So common fringe benefits are basic items that are often included in hiring packages. These include health insurance, life insurance, tuition assistance, child care reimbursement, cafeteria subsidies. Yes, food. Food. You can pay for your employees' food. You work for yourself. It only makes the sense. That's the only below market loans. You giving out loans to yourself. Now you're working for the loan. You can't be taxed now. You're working for loans now. It can't be taxed. I'm gonna say it again. You're working for loans now. It can't be taxed. Check this out. Simple Google search. Can a loan be taxed? Since lenders require you to repay a personal loan, they are considered debt and not taxable income. If a lender forgives some or all of your loan, you may have to pay taxes on the forgiven amount. So look, all I want you to understand this is how the elite move. This right here, if you can process your mind correctly as a true entrepreneur, this is how the elite move. They take out loans from their company. This is considered a fringe benefit. It can't be taxed when you pay it back or when you give the loan. So it's money that you're working for. You're working for the loan now because you dictate the terms. You're not a regular 9-to-5 employee now. Look at this. Uncommon fringe benefits may fit the company profile. PetSmart, for example, has a pet-friendly workplace. Ben & Jerry's rewards its workers with free ice cream. The companies that compete for the best talent in highly competitive fields may offer the most extraordinary fringe benefits. Google's parent company, Alphabet, keyword Google's parent company is called Alphabet, the Alphabet company, provides free commuter bus service and a free gourmet cafeteria. Microsoft gives 20 weeks of paid time off to new birth mothers and 12 weeks for other new parents. Let's go. Let's go. And examples of these are accident health benefits, achievement awards. You give them grants, adoption assistance, athletic facilities, commuting benefits, dependent care assistance, education assistance, employee discounts, employee stock options, group term life insurance, health savings accounts, lodging on business premises, that's a big one, meals, tuition reduction, wardrobes. You can even do clothes. I need everybody to understand this. This is how you maneuver in the private. In the private, people. Now, stipends. Let's get to the stipends. A stipend is a compensation paid to certain individuals to help cover basic costs while they receive training. So a stipend is a fixed monetary amount. We're always training as a trustee, okay? So it's commonly allocated to interns, trainees, students, and clergy. Stipends help offset living costs or training expenses, although they come with tax responsibilities. Understanding the parameters and implications of stipends can guide recipients in managing their financial obligations widely. So that's the definition of a stipend. It's like grant money, so to speak. We're paying when you go to a stipend is when you get paid training to learn how to drive a truck. Then you get a job from them. They pay for your training to drive the truck. That's a stipend. And health insurance is a stipend. Can also be considered stipends. Academic research. I'm talking about, just look up research and development tax credits. You can get all these tax credits back on your business. All this is, get this, when you file your taxes correctly with the correct private CPAs, you will get this back. You will get this back as tax credits. Education, cars, and research and development. All right? Know the game. Simple as that. Your name is the business. You can even get your rent, everything when you understand that now you got a home office. So this is how we maneuver. Tap into the school. Call me at 702-200-4900. Again, that's 702-200-4900. Text private life to 702-200-4900. Much peace and love. I'm out, man. Enjoy y'all's night.